Perfect. Perfect.
Hello everyone, we are now on chapter 2. This is lesson 2.1. We are talking about multiplying integers. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to find products of integers. You'll be able to explain the rules for multiplying integers. You'll be able to find products of integers with the same sign, and then you'll be able to find products of integers with different signs. Okay? So, first things first, I want you to pause the video right now and I want you to copy this down. This is how I know you watched the video and you took your notes. So please copy all of this down, have it written in your binder, please. So as you're copying it down, I'll just explain it. Remember, we were talking about adding and subtracting. So if it's the same sign, you what? Add. If it's different signs, you subtract. Same thing with multiplying. If it's a positive, the same sign, positive, positive, it's going to be positive. If it's negative, negative, right, same sign, it's going to add or positive. If it's negative times a positive, that's negative, or positive times a negative, that's negative, right? We're just clarifying same sign, add, right? That would be addition, right? This one would be subtraction. So positives and positives, those are the same sign, so it would be positive. Negative times a negative would also be positive. Negative times a positive would be negative, right? Different signs, subtract. Positive times a negative, well, different signs, subtract. Okay? Now that you've had this written down, let's do some practice problems, right? We know this is simple. 2 times 3 would get us 6. But let's see. Are these the same signs? Yes, they are. So a negative times a negative gives us a positive. All right, different signs. Are these the same signs or different signs? Well, is that a positive 2 or a negative 2? That's a positive 2 because if it was negative, what would need to be there? A negative sign. So are they different signs? Yes. So 2 times 3 is 6, but because there's only one sign that's different, we know it's going to be a negative. Same thing over here. So we have a negative 2 times a 3. Different signs. We know it's going to be negative. So it's negative 6. All right, let's do some practice problems together. Here is example 1. Please write it down so you have enough time to copy it down. What are you not copying down? Do not copy that down. Do not copy that down. I shouldn't see all the extra words. The only thing that I need to see you copy down for your notes is this. Okay? So now we know we have 5 times 5. 5 times 5, that gives us, oh, sorry, not 5 times 5. 5 times 6, we know that gives us 30. But because we have two negatives, a negative times a negative, right? Negative times a negative, what does that equal? A positive. So that is a positive 30. All right, let's do another one. Example 1. I like to call this, does anybody know? It is rainbow. It'll make sense once we get to 8th grade when we do a whole bunch of rainbows like this. So 3 times 4, we know that's 12, right? But we have, right, that's a positive 3 and that's a negative 4. Different sign, so we know it's going to be a negative sign. Subtract negative sign, so that's a negative 12. Okay? The more you speak these in your head and you say them, the easier it will be. 2 positives make a negative. 2 positives make a positive, 2 negatives make a positive, and if they're different signs, a negative and a positive, they make negative. All right, let's go on to example number 2. Now, in this part of the example, we are talking about, or we're adding in expressions, or sorry, we're adding in exponents. So let's just do a quick review of exponents. So 3 to the 2nd power, remember that is not 3 times 3. That's wrong. It's not 3 times 3. But it's, let's choose a better example. Sorry. Let's say 3 to the 3rd power. All right, that is not 3 times 3. Okay. That's actually, this is telling me how many 3's am I supposed to have? 3 of them. So that's 3 times 3 times 3. Well, that's 9. And then 9 times 3 is 27. Okay? Just to clarify. Or let's try another one. 2 to the 3rd power. All right? That is not 2 times 3. That's wrong. This is telling me I should have 3 2's. So 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is not 6, sorry, it's 8, okay? Just to clarify some rules of exponents, all right? So now let's jump in. What is this telling me? So this 2 is telling me I have 2 of these. 2 of what exactly? 2 of everything inside the parentheses. So that's -2 times -2. So what is -2 times -2? That's going to give me what? A +4. A negative times a negative is a positive, right? So now let's try another question. Let's see, what is this telling me? If we follow the rules of PEMDAS, right? Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, left from right, addition, subtraction, left from right, right? What is this 2 telling me? It's telling me I have 2 of these. Now, if we remember correctly, there's in this negative sign is going to multiply right here, okay? So that's not -2 right now. That's just -2 squared. So if we did this correctly, that is 2 to the second power, and then the negative sign drops. So that's telling me I have 2 2's. So we're going to do this first. 2 times 2, and that's going to give me 4. So we just did that, and then that negative sign just drops down. That means that's -4. Notice the difference, ladies and gentlemen, between this one and then we had, what's the difference here? This is telling me I have 2 of these things right here. I have 2 of, oops, let's do a smaller one, 2 of that. Whereas this one is telling me I have 2 of just that, of just a 2, okay? That's the difference. The more we practice this, the better we will be at it. So how about we try another one? Here's example letter C. Let's copy it down. Let's follow the rules. Okay, let's see. We have a -2 times a 17. Well, 2 times 17 would give us 34, right? And that's a negative and a positive, so that's a -34. And now we have -34 times a -5. Well, we know a negative times a negative is a positive, all right? So now let's just multiply this. I'm going to break this in my head. We have 30 times 5, and then 4 times 5. Well, 30, let's see. 5 times 3 is 15. Add the 0, so we have 150. 5 times 4 is 20. So our answer for this problem is 170. Okay? Let's try another practice problem. Here we go. Well, we have a choice. We can do some distributive property first, right? We can do rainbow. So -6 times that -3, -6 times that 4. So how about we do it both times? We're going to do what's in the parentheses first, and then we're going to do the rainbow method, see which one works faster. All right, so let's solve first. We have a -3 and a +4. Same sign or different signs? Different signs. So we need to subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1. All right, so now let's rewrite our equation. We have -6 plus 6 here. Well, let's do this. What is -6 times that 1? Well, we know a negative times a positive is a negative, so that's -6 plus 6. What do we get? 0. So this is, remember, when we do our work, it should look like an upside down triangle or pyramid. Let's redo this time, but this time we're just going to do some distributive property. So let's see, what is -6 times a -3? Well, that would give us a +18. And what's a -6 times a +4? Well, that gives us -24. And then we just have 6. So now let's just add together. Well, we have 18 minus 24, right? 18 minus 24 would give us different signs, so we need to subtract. That give us -6, because we have more negatives than positives, plus 6. We'll still get to 0. So both ways work. It just depends on which one you think is easier to solve. All right, let's do one more question because I see it right here. Let's see, what is this 3 telling me right here? This 3. Is that telling me to do -3 times -3 times -3? No, that is not right. That is telling me, so watch this, it's 24. We have minus, and then we have 3 times 3 times 3. That's what that's telling me. Okay? So just be careful on questions like these, because you're going to they're going to try and confuse you. There's a difference between when it's in a parentheses and when it's right, and when it's not in a parentheses. This one is telling me I have 3 negative 3's. This is telling me I only have 3 regular 3's. All right, that was our lesson for chapter 2.1. I'll see you guys in class.
Perfect.